Hey there, it's Vickie Howell here to show you how to add a zipper to a knit or a crochet bag. All right, the first thing that you need to do is choose your zipper. And the thing that is most important is to choose length. So you can either buy a zipper that's exactly the right length. This one happens to be 7 inches, as is this bag, but I didn't end up using it because it was not the color that I wanted. So what I ended up having to do, which is something that's really easy and kind of opens up the zipper world, is I bought a longer one in a color that better matched with what I was going for. And then all I did was measure out. You want to make sure that you have this little sticky uppy party, whatever, the tabs there. Don't include that in your length because you'll end up tucking those later. And you want to make sure that it's not too short. So you want to make sure that you go at least up to the end. You'll tuck it in later. And then about an inch, half an inch up from that end spot, you want to tack down. So this one has, as you can see, about an inch above the bottom of the zipper. It's got a metal tack. But we're trying to recreate that, and you can do it one of two ways. I just machine sewed back and forth, and if you go slow on your heavy woven setting, it works fine. And that's enough to create a stopper. If you're hand sewing, just whip stitch, 5-10 times around it, and you'll get the same exact effect. And then you just cut it, take pinking shears or scissors, whatever works for you. Cut your zipper, and now you have the length of zipper that you need for the bag that you want it to be on. The first step to attaching your zipper to your bag is to create a row of stitches around your zipper. Now you can either do this with a blanket stitch, a tapestry needle, and embroidery floss, or if you're using a thin yarn like I am for this project, then the yarn works well. But I prefer to single crochet around it. I feel like it's sturdier and more consistent, and also just easier to work with in the end. But if you're not comfortable with crocheting, by all means, blanket stitch will work. All right, so you need a little tiny hook. This is a 1.9 millimeter. It doesn't really matter, just it needs to be small and as pointy as possible. And you're going to just pick a spot to start. Punch your hook right through. That's going to feel a little weird at first, but the zipper fabric is woven, so it works, but you might have to fuss with it a little bit. And you're going to pull a loop through, and I just chained one. You could also just directly single crochet into the hole if that's possible. All right, this is going to be a corner, so I'm going to work a couple stitches in that same spot so that there would be a total of 3 if we count that first one. So I'm yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now, you might get a little fabric in there. Just be patient. It's going to feel a little fussy, but it gets easier as you go along. So I'm going to do, oops, I lost my plies. Like I said, a total of 3 stitches in that hole. From here on, I'm just going to do 1 in each hole to the next corner. I'm going about a 1/4 inch, but it does not have to be perfect. If you are someone that will not feel comfortable with things being not perfect, then you can make little dots with a pen all the way around your piece. And it does not matter really what your gauge is because you will ease the piece around if necessary. So I just bumped my camera, sorry for that. As you are attaching it, and I'll show you that in a minute. So you're going to make sure that you don't go too far, or I'm sorry, too close to the edge so that you don't rip through the fabric, and get it as evenly spaced as you can by just eyeing it. And because you're working with a smaller hook than you would normally work with, or at least that I would work with this yarn, you may have to stop and pull it out every not couple seconds, but every once in a while when the plies don't both get caught on the hook. It's just part of it, no big deal. And you'll just do that all the way around until your entire piece is covered in a row of single crochet. Okay, once you've gone all the way around, your zipper is going to look something like this. And I encourage you as you're working to sort of every few stitches kind of stop, kind of stretch out your zipper, just sort of ease it around. You'll fasten off, and then just like you would with any other project, let's see if this needle's big enough. I probably should have gotten a bigger needle. You can use a tapestry needle or a crochet hook. That one's not going to be big enough to weave in your ends. And you can do that at any point in time. All right, so from here, we're going to install our zipper. So you line up the zipper side first. And you can just use, I like these clips, but pins would work, binder clips from the office supply store would work, clothespins. Really whatever you've got. All the way around. And if your zipper is not exactly the right length, like this one is just a wee bit long, but I'd rather that than it be short, you can fold it under, like so. And it's okay that it's not attached there, or you can fudge it as you work around. So you're just going to clip it all the way around until you are completely secure. Okay, once you are satisfied with how your zipper is placed in your bag, you're going to join your yarn. So find a corner and insert your hook through the stitch, both loops of the top stitch of the bag. And then the closest corresponding stitch on the zipper. And you want to use a hook that matches what's called for the weight of the yarn for this part, not the smaller hook. If you use the smaller hook, you're going to get some bunching, and it'll cause some problems. All right, and then from here, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to insert your hook and single crochet all the way around, making sure that stitches line up. And if they don't, if you get to a place where it really feels like there's too much bag or too much zipper, just ease it. What I mean by that is kind of press it thin, and you might need to skip a stitch here or there. It's really just something that you should take slow, and you want to just continue all the way around. When you get all the way around, it'll look a little something like this. I worked a few stitches around the corners just to ease it around. And that's really all there is to it. It's so much simpler and sturdier than just plain old hand sewing, but if, you know, like I always say, you do you. If you prefer to hand sew, then go for it. And then I wanted to, before I leave, I wanted to show you what that looks like when you're working with a knitted piece. I've almost completed attaching the zipper, and I just wanted to show you that with these garter bumps, you pick it up in the exact same way as you would a crochet stitch. I'm just going under the garter bump, and then I go under the crochet stitch and single crochet. Show you one more time. Go under the bump, under the stitch, single crochet. So exactly the same way. And you, my friends, are going to have zippers on all of your knit bags or crochet bags in no time.